What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to SoCal Exploring. My name is Scott, and you're watching your stop for all things theme park and attraction related. Well, it's a great day for an exorcism, am I right? Because today, The Exorcist got announced for Halloween Horror Nights 2021 Hollywood, returning once again. We're going to see it again. I mean, just roll the trailer.
Mother, what's wrong with me?
You know what she did?
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
And the Curse of Pandora's Box got announced that it will be returning to Halloween Horror Nights 2021 this year as well.
Anything can be acquired. Anything your heart desires. Come inside.
Now, I'm not going to split these two into separate videos like I did with Texas Chainsaw and Universal Monsters because there's not a lot to talk about them. Like, there's really nothing other than that they're returning to HHN this year. So I figured I'd put it into one video, give my thoughts on both of the mazes returning to this event. However, there was something else that came with today's announcement, which was tickets, which I will be making a separate video on that regarding ticket prices, what tickets best for you, frequent fear passes, and all the other fun stuff in a later video, either later today or later this week. But right now we're just discussing The Exorcist and the Curse of Pandora's Box. So let's start off with The Exorcist. Now, I made a video about this and the big speculation on whether or not this maze would be returning because it was reported that somebody saw the soundstage facade, and it was The Exorcist. And, you know, we didn't have any picture proof, we didn't have any video proof, it was just kind of a take my word for it thing. But the big reason I played into that rumor is because I had also been hearing it earlier than when that person tweeted out that they saw the Exorcist facade. So obviously with that report, that pretty much unofficially confirmed it to me. And then I was like, okay, well, let's just wait for an official announcement. And sure enough, here's the official announcement that the Exorcist is coming back. It's going to be the same exact maze that we saw back in 2016 when it was originally at the event. Now, my thoughts on the maze, right? It was good. It was definitely not my top 5 for the lineup that year, but it was a good maze. Obviously, you can't do a lot with a movie that takes place in one bedroom, but they still brought The Exorcist to life, and I feel like a lot of fans would want to see it for a very long time because it is deemed as the scariest and creepiest horror movie of all time still. I mean, it got as crazy as the people saying there was like bruises on their arms when they exited the maze, which I don't really believe, but that's how crazy the fear was. Very high with guests as they walked through this maze is what I'm trying to say. This year, guests will be possessed by the Exorcist maze, often revered as the most terrifying movie of all time, as they live the tormented aberrations experienced by Regan and her determined mother. That's the description that we read in the press release, and obviously I'm sure Murdy will talk more about it later on, but I definitely think that there's going to be nothing different with this maze at all. I think that they're just moving it from the Mummy Cube, which where it was in 2016, and placing it into Soundstage 29, but there could be a pro side to that. You know, with the soundstage mazes, you want them to be dark, you want them to be scary because it's in a building, right? Compared to being in a tent. With The Exorcist, since it is deemed as one of the most terrifying movies of all time, I feel like it's going to be extra dark in a sense in the soundstage, which will make the experience even more terrifying. Now, in regards to new scenes and whatnot, I really hope that Murdy looks at this and is like, you know what, I can add a couple new scenes in there, especially since the soundstage location should be a longer maze experience as we've seen with years prior. However, with that longer maze experience, I don't want it to be longer black hallways and just more of the maze that is actually just black hallways with Pazuzu jumping out of nowhere. I want there to be actual different scenes and different elements and different ways that you could kind of bring the Exorcist to life, since Murdy has had so long to sit on this and be like, okay, what could I have done differently? Hopefully he puts some of those ideas into this new maze in a sense, even though it is a returning maze for 2021. Although that is wishing for a lot, I just think that if it's going to go into the soundstage, that something needs to be done that will make it more spectacular than it already was back in 2016, and that's just my personal opinion. I don't know, I just feel like a soundstage, if you are in a soundstage, like if the property's in a soundstage, then the property has to be good, the maze has to be good, with the exception of Stranger Things 2. But I mean, remember when we had 747, I mean, they had mazes like Black Sabbath in there, they also had Alien vs Predator, which were amazing mazes in sound stages. So hopefully the Exorcist gets some tweaks and improvements here and there to make it a great maze and make it in a top 5 maze for this year. Alright, but moving on to the Curse of Pandora's Box, you can actually see the construction work going on for right now in the Curious George parking lot right across from the Haunting of Hill House, which is being constructed, and you can see it's going to be the exact same facade. Now, before this announcement was announced today, we could tell that, you know, there are shapes of the Curse of Pandora's Box. It looked exactly like it. The layout looked exactly like Pandora's Box. And we're like, but it could be changed. It could be Pandora's Box version 2. Turns out it's not. Turns out it's just the rerun of 2019, which is the maze that we saw more recent compared to the Exorcist scene in 2016. Horror also reemerges in Ultraviolet with the addition of the original concept maze of the Curse of Pandora's Box. Inspired by the most fearsome creatures in Greek mythology, this disturbing experience transports guests from the land of the living to the nightmarish netherworld of Hades, where the demonic temptress Pandora serves as their guide. So as it stands for Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood this year, that makes 3 returning mazes: Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Curse of Pandora's Box, and The Exorcist. Now, there's been talks of other returning mazes coming back. Obviously, we've been seeing the situation with the Waterworld queue and it potentially being Halloween 4. And of course, we have the big question of whether or not the Walking Dead attraction is coming back. So, we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously, it's a budget year. I'm just happy that we're getting HHN this year because the pandemic really messed everything up last year. But I'm happy that we're finally getting a haunt season, and it's exciting that we'll actually get to walk through haunted mazes this year at Universal. Now, with the Curse of Pandora's Box, a lot of people didn't enjoy it, and a lot of people had it at the bottom of their list. You know, the thing with me is right off the bat, I was like, you know, this is just reused sets, this isn't fun, this is like whatever on like the first opening night. But then as I progressively walked through it more and more, I kind of enjoy this, you know, it's actually not that bad at all. And it was fun. It was a fun maze. It was definitely in my top 5. It wasn't in my top 3, but it was in my top 5 for sure. I wouldn't put it at the bottom of the list. There's other mazes on that lineup that could have gone to the bottom of that list. Especially with the kind of pre-show that they did in the Curse of Pandora's Box. Hopefully they bring that pre-show back. I don't know what's going to happen with that because of COVID and whatnot, and if distancing is still a thing by then. But yeah, the pre-show for Curse of Pandora's Box was brilliant. It was thought out and it was amazing. This time it's not going to be on a raised stand like it was in 2019. In the tram garage location, it's just going to be on the normal floor. The only place that we'll be walking is that super far walk to that back Curious George location from the upper lot. You guys are going to get your steps in. I feel like since there's most likely not going to be any back lot mazes this year, Universal's like, okay, we're still going to make you exercise and walk to the Curious George lot. But I don't know, I think that the scare actors killed it in Pandora's Box. I think that's what really made the maze, is the scare actors. The scare actors were so dedicated in there, and not that other HHN scare actors aren't dedicated, but I just felt like whenever I walked into Pandora's Box, they were really dedicated a lot. And it was really neat to see all the ultraviolet stuff going on in there, and made for perfect pictures and made for perfect footage, which was really nice for you guys, obviously getting to see it through the lens. And I think that it will still be a fun maze this year. I don't think obviously it's going to be one of the best mazes, but I think it'll be a fun maze this year. I hope, like I said, with the Exorcist as well, that they tweak this one a little bit, which I feel like it'd be a little bit easier to tweak the Curse of Pandora's Box than it would be the Exorcist. So hopefully there are some spins here and there, although it is the same exact trailer from 2019, so who knows, we'll just have to wait till John Murdy provides more details, which he is going to be at the Awaken the Spirits Midsummer Scream panel this weekend, so maybe he'll release some more details regarding, you know, concepts for the maze and different rooms that we can expect and whatnot, as they normally do at a Halloween Horror Nights panel at these conventions. But as for right now, all we have to go around is the announcement and the announcement video, and that's it. We don't know anything else. I'm excited. There's nothing more to really talk about it. I'm excited for it. Am I a little bit disappointed? Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed. But nonetheless, we're still getting hot this year, so that's something to be excited about. However, like I said, I will be making a separate ticket video regarding HHN Hollywood tickets that I am going to be a little bit more critical on, because I feel like ticket prices are a little bit too high for what they're offering this year. But stay tuned for that video, like I said, and subscribe with those bell notifications on. Anyways, that's gonna do it for today's video. I have a quick thing that I want to put in. I am looking for someone to animate an intro for me, specifically for like a normal intro, like normal theme park intro, and then of course a haunt related intro as well. I'm willing to pay for it and commission it, so if you want to reach out to me and you're interested in doing that for me, reach out to me via Instagram DM or whatever, and please send me some of your previous work, because I know there's a lot of people out there who want to make intros and stuff like that and get paid for it. However, I do want someone who's going to be able to create what my vision is. So if you guys are illustrators or animators and you guys are interested in that and creating a new intro for me, then please reach out to me via email, which you can find my email on, you know, YouTube, the page. You can go and contact or reach out to me via Instagram DM or Twitter DM. It'd be much appreciated. You've been watching SoCal Exploring. Positivity is key, and most importantly, remember to keep exploring. Peace out, everybody.